Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Season 12 of Style Esports. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes. We're still getting some things fixed up and ready to go as we have One Life to Play versus the Goofy Goobers on the red side, One Life to Play on the blue, and here we are in picks and bans. We have two teams ready to go for you tonight, and we are ready to go right off the bat. We have a few one tricks. We got a few, got some high plat, low diamond folks. We even got some masters players in here for you today. So this is going to be a banger of a match. We got some pretty high rated players ready for you tonight. This is going to be an exciting match for sure. And right off the bat, we have a lot of characters taken off the board here that are really going to slow down this game for sure. Especially with that Corky and Victor taken off the board. We've seen that a whole lot in some of the most recent patches of League of Legends. Really going slow, wanting to not do a whole lot of aggression, but once you get to a certain point of the game, they pop off. And you don't want to see that this time. Yumi being taken off the table, another very strong support that you don't want to see on the enemy team, especially when it's paired with a lot of the strong hyper carries that we've been seeing in the bot lane, especially with Sivir, with Zeri, and even with the Jinx that we'd like to see from that Lizard Wizard likes to play over on that team right there. As we now see, Syndra is now going to be the final ban here for the Goofy Goobers, which means that we still have 1Life to Play's jungler still has their Master Yi on the table. 335 games this season on that champion. And their second most played champion is 216 on Talon and 79 on Viego. So you know exactly what
That's
you're getting when Clout comes into the jungle.
that's
Thousand
that's
Eyes has
so
finally
rude.
joined us.
I'm ready. I'm here. I'm good. Yeah, bands gone through. I think all pretty standard or focused in pretty obvious ways here. The Talon obviously a little bit more focused on the jungle, it seems. But Wukong coming through, and I don't think that one is surprising. Diana getting picked up either. These are two really standard current meta junglers that you will see all the way up into pro leagues as well because they have such good early skirmishing that does well into the mid game for team fights here. Now with the Diana, that does give the opportunity for something like a Yasuo, some kind of wombo combo team comp, and that is also where Renata Glask can come in, and you could get some really interesting just kind of like big wombo combo team fights. The big thing that I have seen kind of picked up in response, though, I've seen, well, Ezreal does work well. He could get out of the way of the Renata Glass ultimate, but Silas as well has been a pretty big pickup against Renata Glass because if you both have the Renata Glass ultimate and you hit it at the same time, everybody's just sitting there hitting their own teammates for a couple seconds and then you go back to normal. So it kind of evens things out in a way that can help reset team fights.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very, very powerful tool. And like you said, it's very good synergy with that Diana as well. It kind of fits into that Yasuo slot that we've seen a whole lot, especially in the early bits of Season 12. Diana plus Yasuo was a very strong composition. But over on the other half, we do seem to have the top side of the map kind of locked in here, and the 80 carry is as well. Ezreal, Sejuani, and Wukong locked in here. A lot of very strong initiation, some decent mid-game power level here. And the Trundle here to follow up, I like this a whole lot. I love this Trundle pick.
Yeah. I mean, Trundle is the standard pick against Sejuani. Both of these can go jungle, can go top lane. Obviously, it's pretty clear that they're both going to be going top lane here. And I think that's great because you both, I think you want to have both take the TP. If Sejuani teleports somewhere, Trundle just follows. And you're just always that nuisance to make sure that Sejuani can't do her job correctly and will make every single team fight just pain and suffering. I really want to see teams go away from this blind Sejuani. I think it's a big trap because I think Trundle is such an easy pick no matter where the Sejuani is going. You could just take the Trundle and always make team fights really difficult. I don't think it's as strong as people. I think it's a great like final pick. I think it's a great late pick when you know that the Trundle can't come in. If both the top and the jungle were hard locked in, Sejuani would be great. But when you don't have that, the Trundle can come through and it's so hard to play Sejuani against that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proprietor of really not liking Trundle unless it's a counter pick. And in this situation, when you see even if it like wasn't like the meta currently to counter Sejuani with Trundle, right? Even just looking at it kind of traditionally, where it's just kind of like Trundle countering someone that he can steal lots of stats from, Sejuani is that type of champion that you can just give so much stats over to the Trundle if he's able to follow you around the map. So this is definitely going to be a nuisance, like you said, for the Sejuani here. Really, really good pick in, as Kog'Maw is going to be the lock-in for the AD carry of Goobers.
Yeah, Kog'Maw with Renata has been a pretty big pickup that a lot of teams have gone through. It kind of functions similar to a Zillion with a little bit more extra potency in the shields. So you have a little bit more protection. It is a little bit more of a peel support compared to what Zillion can bring. I still like Kog'Maw with something a little bit more. I don't know how to put this. Something that has better peel, because Renata Glask peel is very focused on, do you have your ultimate up or do you have your Q up? Without that, the most you've got is a slow and the ability to keep Kog'Maw alive after he was supposed to die, which can be good, but compare that to a Lulu. You've got the polymorph, you've got a really strong slow in the Q, you've got a really hefty shield and something to help keep Kog'Maw alive, while also, once again, bringing crowd control to the table. I like seeing crowd control peel with a Kog'Maw because he can't do that himself.
Yeah, I think with regards to this style of ultimate that we've seen, because I think you and I have casted a game pretty recently where Zillion and Kog'Maw was a bottom lane duo. What I like more about this Renata Glask here is that Kog'Maw with this kind of setup here does the revive is based on Kog'Maw just having more time to auto attack,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's ultimately more valuable to the team that has Kog'Maw than just a straight res, right? Because Kog'Maw doesn't die per chance per se, right? They just stay alive for a little bit longer. So there's no like crowding around Kog'Maw waiting for him to resurrect and then beating him up again like someone who just got tripped in the hallway, right?
Yeah.
We're not Kog'Maw didn't get tripped at the McDonald's and now everyone's standing over Kog'Maw with his chicken nuggets spilled all over the floor, right? Kog'Maw is still in the thick of it, still throwing out auto attacks, and in these kind of cases, there's a very good chance that Kog'Maw does get that resurrection clause from Renata Glass there. So this is another this is a lot better for the Kog'Maw here than I think the Zillion. Another point I wanted to add on is that you added in that Renata Glask is very good at resetting team fights, and this is going to be very important for this Kog'Maw later in the game. As
Hmm.
because like if they're trying to dive on top of this Kog'Maw, which is going to be very easy, right? They have Sejuani, they have Vex, they have Wukong, right? Like this is going to be a team, excuse me, that very clearly has a very easy way to dive onto the Kog'Maw here, just giving him that reset of the team fight, giving that berserk to kind of take the pressure off of Kog'Maw, excuse me, for a little bit, as well as giving Kog'Maw an opportunity to continue auto attacking after he's died. This Renata Glask, I think, is actually very, very good with the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, I agree. I think the big thing though here is the Renata Glasgow actually really only provides the stoppage of an engage as opposed to really doing a lot of damage. Because you look at 1Life2Play's composition, you have one champion that's really utilizing that attack speed that Renata takes advantage of with her ultimate, and that is the Ezreal. Vex, Soraka, Sejuani, their autos don't really do a whole lot. You're not going to be able to utilize Sejuani E, so that doesn't matter. Wukong, he'll do a bit for sure, but I don't think to the degree of if you're looking at the opposite side, you've got to I think a Silas would have been really good here because you look at Diana, Trundle, Kog'Maw, they're all going to build some level of attack speed, and their autos are going to hurt. So I really think I would have seen the I really would have liked to see that Silas instead of the Vex, but I can also understand the Vex as just a blind pick here because you're still waiting on what that last champion was going to be. Did end up being the Zoe, And I think Vex still not really going to have the greatest of times into that, as Vex really likes to be in the fights a lot more, and Zoe's just going to be staying back poking. The Vex really, I think, level 6 points, gotta roam, gotta get in the face of that Kog'Maw, get in the face of that Diana maybe alongside the Wukong, and cause havoc there, because if you just sit there and let the Zoe scale up into these late game areas where she's just going to toss the E and get people asleep and blow them up from there, that's going to be really hard for your team to deal with from that distance.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really tough. Like, this is a team that is going to be able to make sure that that distance is kept as much as possible, right? It's really going to be important that Goofy Goobers maintain this kind of line of scrimmage here. Now, Trundle traditionally is very good at being that line of scrimmage, right?
Yes.
We, in a long time ago in ye old LCS, Trundle plus 4 ranged champions brought, I think it might have been Curse. It might have been Curse, and I have to look.
That sounds correct.
Yeah. And it was just 4 ranged champions and a Trundle, and all Trundle did was he put up the pillar, he just stood in front and just let all these 4 ranged champions just go to town. And Trundle largely hasn't changed since then, right? Like, a lot of his things got like
Even pre-rework.
Yeah.
Even pre-rework, his rework didn't change much of what he did as a champion. It was the same. They just kind of brought it up to current day standards was the big thing. And I really think Trundle, especially when you're, I think especially when you're looking at higher level play, that picks and chooses its battles very specifically compared to lower level play, which is very much you're gonna fight on site and it's constant fighting. I think a champion like Trundle does really well into that, because you can play around the ultimate cooldown a lot more, because you're not just constantly fighting. You could just fight when that ultimate is available, and it makes it a little bit easier to execute, as opposed to, well, okay, we just fought topside and now I'm gonna have to jump down and help the jungler out, and constant fighting that doesn't work out as well. Trundle really, if you're in the team fight phase, he relies on that ultimate in order to do that frontlining that he needs to do here.
Right. And I completely agree too. Like, if anything, like, this Trundle is not going to be, once we get to that team fighting phase like you talked about, we are going to we're going to have Trundle just basically not be as much of a frontliner as you'd like against a team that is Wukong and Vex,
Mm-hmm.
and just be more of a harasser of Sejuani, if that makes sense. Right? You're right. So if Trundle is going for the bruiser build, then he's not going to be as tanky as he would if he went something more defensive, which this team is going to kind of need. There is no frontliner on this team, right? The best frontliners they have are a couple of bruisers at best, right? They have 1.5 bruisers, right? It depends on how the Diana is built, but Trundle is definitely a bruiser, and Diana can be a bruiser if she wants, right? There have been, like, recently there have been some folks who are going Nashor's Tooth and Sunfire
and then just
Aegis.
tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's painful. It is the correct decision, I believe, in almost every game. I think the Sunfire, like Frostfire pickups on these bruisers, or just straight up assassins if you're Yone, I think they're just good. I just hate seeing them.
Yeah.
So
it certainly works, and you do have a decent chunk of CC, and your auto attacks, you do a lot of auto attacking, which then makes your Sunfire Aegis better. I'm just, I think I agree, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it particularly, but if higher level players are using it and it's working and it's consistent, then who am I to judge?
It's mostly that they do enough damage to provide a lot, and the durability is really good. You're not losing out on a lot of damage. They give you a lot for the gold value, in comparison to going damage and then not being able to kill. You're now tanky enough to compare with a lot of these tanks, and you rely more on that DPS. That's why Diana does it really well. That's why Yone does it really well. They have burst aspects to their kit, but they have consistent damage as well. Diana has the passive that just lets her auto and do a bunch of damage throughout a team fight. Yone obviously constantly hitting that Q and fighting as the game goes on. So I think it's a really nice, solid pickup to go for. It feels a little weird when you look at Diana and Yone going for those tank builds.
Yeah, I mean, right now it is yet to be seen, but this team either pops off and is able to get that kind and maintain that line of scrimmage and do these heavy poke damage before the enemy team can initiate and get a very strong initiation here. Um or like they just fall apart completely because they're not able to deal with all of these champions diving onto their back line, onto their pretty squishy team composition here. However, we're going to have to see how these team compositions play out and whether our questions will be answered. We are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 1 of 1Life2Play and Goofy Goobers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and here we are on the Rift with our patented casual start here with
I
One
hate
Life to Play
this.
on the
I
blue
hate
side
this.
and Goofy Goobers on the red. We are ready to go, and Thousand Eyes hates this, but can you find something to enjoy in this game right off the bat?
I can find something to enjoy in this game, maybe not the things that you say. God, we've had this casual start versus ranked start versus professional start line for way too long. People are gonna come in like a year later, and we're still gonna be doing this bit, and no one's gonna know what the hell we're talking about.
It's
Anyway,
fine.
line of scrimmage being set, and looks like it's just gonna be a pretty standard start here. Reminder that Wukong and Diana definitely wants to farm till 6. Wukong, he does have a little bit stronger early gank possibilities thanks to the fact that he has both invisibility and a dash. The issue being, starting on that bottom side, it's going to be a little bit rough for him. He does have a top laner with Ignite on the top side in Sejuani, but Sejuani's damage is not really extremely great. It's going to have to be the setup and Wukong being the one to dunk it down.
All right. I mean, you're right. Not to mention that with this new change to Wukong of his W allowing him to go over walls, this does mean that he can take some more aggressive pathing through the jungle if he
Yep.
wants to go directly over to
God,
Diana.
so
We're
much
kind of
trading.
yeah, Akaipo. That's 2 ignites already happening. Akaipo goes down. Randon Capitals picks up the first blood in the mid lane.
So much minion aggro being thrown on to Vex there, and the ignite happens. You've got the ignite on the other side there. When you're lower health and you're igniting someone at higher health and they have ignite, not exactly the position that you want to be in. Akaipa unfortunately loses out on that trade, and that's a really great start for the Zoe that we said could turn into a problem, not just in this lane, but in this game later on.
Yeah, not to mention that like Zoe does have access to that ignite when they get back to lane, right? So there's still some fighting capability for that Zoe. I believe so. If she has the balloons active, she should be able to pick up that ignite. Let me check right now. Hard to say.
I don't believe she does. Yeah.
Okay.
Was only level 2, had the E and the Q. So
Alrighty. Zakatura, we're seeing exactly what we thought we'd see. Trundle just harassing Sejuani up in this top lane here. So nothing out of the ordinary up there. So you take a look at the rest of the map. Just people hanging out, having a good time as the mid laners continue to duke it out.
oh my god, they just don't want to stop. And I do like that Akaipo is not afraid to keep going. Red Milk Tea I don't think wins this fight though.
Yeah, they're taking incredibly low here. Cloud actually taking some damage here, but here comes the bot lane to support. Soraka and Ezreal are there as well. They're now looking for Kenny Master Lune, who's taken actually pretty low here. They're looking to best back away as we take a look at the top lane. Once again, direct to camera. Top lane main.
Yeah. Top lane tank main specifically.
Yeah.
It is mostly about that. But yeah, good trade on that bot side and really good for Clout to get out when he did. The Vex came down, headed off that Zoe, and the Soraka Ezreal, pretty solid level 1 to 3. At this point, Kog'Maw's going to start getting points in his W. It's going to start to hurt a little bit more until the Ezreal Sheen hits.
Yeah, Zakatura here forced to use that flash up in the top lane. They're good roam by Kaipo to just put some pressure onto this top lane. Gibson, your eyes just a little bit more time is in the bot lane here. Boomer to Walrus, that's going to be boss popping. Lizard popping that cleanse and running away. Kenny Master Lane going to be able to get away as well. Flash is still available for both of the bot laners, and that's going to be a pretty good trade for the blue team here.
That's an incredibly good trade there because now they get the ability to shove this lane in, make sure Kog'Maw misses a little bit of farm, and they get the free back. The Ezreal should have a Sheen ready to go, and that is when it gets really scary in this lane because Sheen is such a strong power spike for Ezreal in comparison as well to just how strong he scales. Now, Kog'Maw can't go for those poke trades. If there's going to be an actual trade in this lane, it has to be an all-in engage because that is where Kog'Maw will actually be able to shine with that W. If they keep taking poke in these fights, it's gonna get worse and worse, and Renata has to basically shield ahead of time to avoid that damage going. It's not like the Soraka where you could just heal him back up after taking the poke. You've got to be proactive in those shields.
Yeah, and this is a good lesson to folks who want to learn how to play enchanters. Shields are very good before the damage is dealt, and healing is at its best after the damage has been dealt. So This is just something to keep in mind the next time you're just choosing whether to pick Soraka or a character like Janna or Renata Glass. Because the Kaipo is drowsy here, put to sleep. Red Milk Tea coming in from the side. Kenny Masterlin as well.
Oh,
Gonna pick up another kill into the mid lane there, as now has to make all their way back down to the bot lane. But that is another kill going over to Zoe in the mid lane.
yeah, and really smart, I think, too. They both came from different sides, Kenny Master and Red Milk, to show up on there as the Trundle uses the ult on the top side. Just going to shove this in and get that under tower here and probably back. But really nice stuff to come from both sides and take advantage of the fact that Akaipo and Random Capitals have been trading this entire game. It's been constant fighting. That's when you really want to have somebody show up, because you're going to take a fight and you're going to be like, all right, it's just the normal fighting we've been doing every time, except this time you've got friends along for the ride, and it becomes more and more dangerous. You can't really figure out, is this a gank or is this just an actual fight that we've been taking this whole time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good read on the playstyle of the opponent, right? If they're going to keep scuffling back and forth, if you indulge them, then they're more likely to, like, continue doing this kind of trading, right? If that's how they've been playing this whole time. So
There's
you
no
kind of,
tell.
yeah. It's a bait to kind of bring them into that situation where now it's just kind of like, hey, if you wanted to keep fighting me over and over, like, sure, I'll do that. But guess what? Now I have a Diana in the wings. Now I have a Renata Glask in the wings, and now you have to deal with that fact. So now this is a very, very good moment for Zoe. She's even got a couple stacks on a Dark Seal as well, and they're going to have to make something happen in the top lane because of that. Zakatura here taking incredibly low, looking to heal off of a Kaipo here. Might be able to do some damage here, but they're just going to be taken to below half HP. A Kaipo's finally going to put themselves on the scoreboard, 1-2-0.
That was a really good move too. Not only getting away from the Zoe, because that kill was going to be very rare if it ever happened, but also just going up and taking advantage of the fact that Zakatura used that ultimate to try and shove that wave in. Seniorize did not let that wave crash. Made sure that Trundle had to stick around a little bit longer than expected, and because that ultimate was no longer available, you saw the Vex go up there. They made sure Vex got the kill as well, because she needs that gold more than the Sejuani. All around smart play from 1Life2Play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is definitely a really, really well played, and especially is going to help out a Kaipo a lot in this mid lane here. And hats off to a Kaipo to finding kind of advantages elsewhere on the map if they can't find it against random capitals in the mid lane here. I mean, this is how you got to play this game if you want to be this aggro early on. If you're losing the mid lane, you want to be aggressive, you're going to have to find it elsewhere on the map.
Absolutely. And now we'll see how that actually like fully works out, because the Zoe's still ahead.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Yes, she is.
She's still very ahead. She's still gonna be a problem. I think the biggest, scariest thing is that this Zoe can set up these dragon fights that are gonna be coming up. We already see one dragon going over to Goofy Goobers. The next dragon is gonna be even harder to take, because Zoe can set up, keep tossing those sleepy trouble bubbles out and making sure that it is really difficult for Wukong to try and get into that pit, or the rest of the team to set up around it. Right now you can see they're just waiting for a Kaipo.
Yeah.
Oh, good fear.
It was a really good fear, but look at this damage already. A Kaipo taking incredibly low. Red Milk Tea is going to be the one picking up that kill here, as Cloud has to pop the duplicate just to get away. Now they have a whole lot of command of this jungle here. Fox gonna get that root. Red team's sticking around a little bit longer in this jungle. Maybe they want to here. Wukong is kind of waiting in the wings here. Maybe looking for someone just standing away too long. Okay. I think they might end up getting these Krugs here. Oh, stole a medium Krug. Okay.
Fox just looked really good on this Soraka. The silence into Qs to slow them, to keep them in, to make sure the silence then roots them, has been really, really good. I'm not as familiar with Soraka tech, and Fox very much seems to understand that and be really familiar with this champion. I also do want to give credit to the Goofy Goobers for setting up that. They saw the Vex back. They realized dragons in like 2 minutes. This is when, you know, the really good teams are going to be looking to ward is fight mid.
Oh, yeah, big ultimate from Red Milk Tea here. But that is a sleepy Vex. She's low HP, and this team is just going to continue farming this champ in the mid lane here. Now 4 deaths on the Vex, not even giving them a second to farm. I feel like they've only gotten like 20 CS from the times that they've been able to respawn and come back to lane for even a little bit.
Yeah, it's not been good. It's definitely been a bit rough. And this Zoe just going to continue to get ahead. The instant rush on that Sunfire for the Diana, so it is that more tank build. Dragon's spawning in 30 seconds here, as we'll see if a Kaipo can come in. Now, granted, despite falling behind here, there is something important to note. The Zoe absolutely needs to get ahead, as Clout coming up to make sure that Senoritas can get out. The Zoe absolutely needs the gold to get ahead. If she can't do damage, she can't do her job. Vex, on the other hand, still has a really potent fear. And, well, okay, maybe not if she's alive.
Yeah.
She needs to be alive to use it, but the fear is still going to be useful. That is utility that you do not need gold to utilize.
Yeah, Zakatura here forced to pop that ultimate to scare them off the turret here. Shelly's going to grab them a few plates, but it's not going to grab them the turret just yet. So this is actually pretty important here now as the Ocean Drake is now started up by the red team here. It doesn't look like they're going to get the answer, so it looks like it's going to go over easy peasy.
Yeah, pretty simple stuff. Wukong shows top, you go for the dragon immediately. Fox just going to poke here and leave, although might get caught.
Yeah, they almost get hit by that sleepy trouble bubble there. So he goes over the wall looking for a little bit more poke damage, but they do have the vision over the bush here. Lizard Wizard fighting in the bot lane here. That's going to be Cloud taking some damage here. They're going to take more from this Wukong here, and this is more dominance coming out from the red team here in this early parts of the game.
Yeah, this is really difficult here. The presence of this Zoe in the mid lane has allowed them to take control over the jungle. Look at the vision control of that bottom side there. The red buff area entirely warded out, as they're just going to dive here. They know no one can help.
Yeah, 1-2 punch coming down, and now they're looking for more here. Ezreal's in some trouble here. Kenny Masterlin's taking up the turret. They're going to be able to find the kill. Now they're making the play in the top lane here. Zakatura is taken incredibly low. They're underneath the turret, but it's not going to be able to stop them this time as Cloud picks up the kill up in the top half of the map, which is still the saving grace of this blue team. They're going to be able to take maybe the first turret here.
Yeah, they get it.
Race.
No, it's not. They've still got 2 plates on that bottom side to go, so it is going to be an easy pickup there. Smart turnaround. They're going to get a little bit more, I think, in terms of, well, they're going to get more gold and more pressure on that bot side, keeping the minion wave away from the Ezreal and the Vex as well is going to be more important. But a nice counter dive on that top side, the taking of that Rift Herald earlier on, as, oh god, please no.
I mean, it's just so much damage. Random Capitals here, 9 stacks on this Dark Seal so far, as the Walrus looking to stop here, but Clout looking for a red buff here, trying to get a little bit more, but Trundle doing such a good job of kiting them out. Now Clout has to make a longer way out, but it looks like they might be fine here. They just have to make their way over to the turret. Looks like they're A-okay. Is now this is really good. Boomer to Walrus. Looking for Lizard Wizard here. No. Still on the chase. Lizard Wizard, doing a great job of diving and weaving away. What it looks like this time, Flash is going to be the one that saves the day.
The Flash gets Lizard Wizard out, but also a lot of fancy feet there. The Flash wouldn't have meant anything if you took any of those extra ones early on. So Boomer to Walrus does still force the Cogwell back, will get it under the tower, will get a nice easy back there. But man, I think the story of this game is really just how much Random Capitals has had control over this mid lane. Obviously, the farm between the 2 mid laners is very, very skewed compared to the other lanes. You look at Zoe on 87, you say, well, that's not really good farm. But you got to remember, they've been fighting non-stop. And when you're getting kills every time, that's going to be worth a lot more gold than a minion wave. And this Zoe is just obscenely powerful right now.
Yeah, and it's making it really hard to approach these neutral objectives early on. You said it earlier, they've had so much control over this mid lane that now even trying to look at this second Rift Herald here, it's incredibly tough to get even anywhere close to that objective. As Random Capitals, all he needs to do is just walk forward.
Yeah,
Oh
goodbye.
my god. Yeah, okay. Clout looking for a little bit more here. Kenny Master Lin pops that stopwatch. Might be able to live for a little bit longer.
Sejuani's here.
Does get that ultimate. Here comes Sejuani in from the side. Trundle is here to follow. Remlock T is taken incredibly low here. Goes Golden. Gonna be able to live through that. They're gonna go forward just a little bit more. Throws down the extra ignite. Ezreal ultimate comes across trying to find that sneaky kill onto Diana. Not gonna be able to find it this time. It's a 2-for-1 in the mid lane as now they're continuing their push.
Yeah, and they're going to get a lot on this tower here. Boomer to Wall is coming around, though.
Yeah, they're going to be able to find a stun onto Zakatura here. Throws down the pillar, looking for a little bit of space, but not going to be able to get away from the onslaught of Boomer to Walrus damage. They're going to be able to pick up another kill, evening out the gold, or the kills just a little bit in the extended engage, but still, Red Team still is ahead in gold, especially after picking up that bot turret.
Yeah, but remember that whole thing that we talked about earlier on of the higher elo teams fighting on they're picking and choosing their fights more. That's not happening this game. This is a very, very skirmish heavy game, and because of that, oh, okay, no, Boomer Wall was fine. But because of that, that is why Trundle died there. Trundle did not have the ultimate, had just used it, and the fight continued on. So because of the fact that this game is kind of going different than what you might expect, the Trundle is struggling a lot more. We're seeing the Sejuani succeed. You've got to play to the strengths of this Trundle, and that cooldown is not being respected as much as I think it needs to be by Zakutara.
Of course. I mean, yeah, just using that ultimate just pretty liberally. While most of the times feels like it's the like one time we saw it being forced out, that's really how it's going to have to be played around here. As ultimate comes across, not going to be able to take the dragon away this time, but yeah, I agree. This Trundle ultimate is going to be really, really important to seeing whether or not this Trundle is going to live in these team fights. As now we're getting closer and closer to this. We're now pretty deep into the mid game now, as lots of folks are starting to get those level 2 ultimates online. We got some mythic items complete, and now yeah, it's looking really, really tough.
Vex just doing the rafters and the big one reset. This is very sad. But yeah, I want to give credit because or at least the opportunity here as Senor is maybe starting it.
Yeah, that's going to be a good ultimate coming across. Going to be able to give some space for Lizard Wizard on the backside here. Good dive, but Diana is going to be able to pick up the kill there. But now Lizard Wizard is in some trouble. Does not have that flash available. And that's going to be a really, really good pickup for 1Life2Play here, as they're going to pick up that 1-for-3 in the mid lane. Trundle can't answer. Zoe is all the way in the bot lane. What a great time to capitalize.
Really smart to engage at that exact moment, to realize Zoe's not there. That's their team. We can fight this, and cashing out the Renata immediately so you don't have that bailout to worry about, and then continuing on forward. Red Milk Tea can tank a lot, but when you've got as much crowd control as the Sejuani,
here we go. Zakutara trying to do this 1v3 up here. Has popped the ultimate already. Has been forced out, so that's going to be important for when we're talking about team fights later. Able to get away, but I think they were just looking to grab that Trundle ultimate now. Now, the rest of the red team here.
Gotta watch.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Not going to put anyone to sleep this time. Random Capitals looking for a little bit more. Can't quite find the damage onto Senor Ice, though. But Clout diving through, looking for Random Capitals as a way out, but they can't quite find it. Puts Drowsy. They're asleep. There's the burst damage. Lizard Wizard picks it up. And Zoe's going to pick up a second up on the top lane here. But here comes Boomer to Walrus in for the side. They're going to be able to dash forward. Looking for more. Moonfall comes through. Going to pull them back in. Boomer to Walrus taking real low. Red Milk Tea looking for it. Going to be able to find the kill. 3-for-0 up in the top lane. They pop the Rift Herald as well. They're going to be picking up some turrets to boot.
As soon as things started going well, it falls apart a little bit too deep, chasing on that Trundle, and a nice turnaround from the rest of Goofy Goobers to pull this game back into their control, get that top lane tower there. And I thought Clout was out, but such a good Sleepy Trouble Bubble there from the Zoe to get the Wukong while invisible. Confirm that kill without the Wukong damage to worry about. Diving the Sejuani was enough. They had the damage to do so. And easy stuff to turn around there. Really smart from Goofy Goobers to pull the game back in their favor and now keep that momentum that they've had going strong this entire game going for them.
Yeah, and it's now going to be a little bit more time until we see our next big fight here. With a lot of the outers taken, there's not going to be a whole lot of like big laning happening anytime soon. Like folks are probably just going to be shoving out waves and mostly looking to get some vision and clear out camps here and there. So we're probably not going to be seeing a big fight up until that dragon fight that's happening in about a minute and a half here. So the game is going to slow down a bit. What do you think both teams are looking for in this kind of intermediary space here?
I mean, I think the big thing that we need to see from One Life to Play is just defensive warding. Get warding down to make sure that Zoe, you know where she's at as you're moving up. She can't get those surprise bubbles and catch you out of position and blow somebody up. Zoe, when she's ahead, yeah, she's really strong, but it all relies on her being able to set up and do her combo. If she can't do that combo and you take her out without being able to poke you out beforehand, you can still win this fight. Zoe is strong, but you have opportunities and options here.
Yeah, this is a very good this is a very good job by 1Life2Play here, getting to the dragon early. The problem is they don't really have a whole lot of control in the lanes just yet. They do have lanes not pushing in their favor just quite yet, and they're here this dragon just a bit early. You have a bunch of folks just kind of sitting in the river here, not really doing anything.
Oh, yeah, that's just kind of unfortunate guesswork there. Because Random Capitals does hit a Kaipo. TP coming behind them from the Trundle.
Yeah, this is going to force the engage right here as Red Milk Tea taken incredibly low. Good Moonfall's going to pull them back in. Renata Glass Ultimate coming across. Senior Ice is going to be run towards their team here as Clout.
Ezreal's not in this.
This Ezreal nowhere to be found. Has to run all the way on the outside of the pit here. Zoned all the way out. Fox and Boomer to Walrus are the only members left. And now they have to do something, looking for a cheeky kill over the wall.
Ooh.
Red Milk Tea is actually taken incredibly low, but Lizard Wizard is not wasting any time here. They're looking for a little bit more. Fox is taken incredibly low here, but they still want to look for the steal. They have that objective bounty. They want to keep them off of Soul. They're still trying their hardest to stay in this game, but Red Team secures the Drake. It's a 3-for-1. They've got the Infernal Soul. This looks like a shoe-in for a Goofy Goobers victory.
And I think Boomer to Walrus just had a bit of indecision on that fight, and it cost them big time there. They saw the TP, they went for the engage, but Boomer to Walrus did not want to go forward with the rest of the team, was waiting for that Trundle on the backside, and they got pushed into the wall there, unable to get over without using that shift, and you don't want to use that shift in the middle of the fight just across a wall and get into the fight. You want it to be able to dodge things, to dodge this Zoe Q, and unfortunately because of that, you saw Ezreal not in that fight, so it looked great at the start, but then they grouped up. Red Milk Tea got the great Moonfall. Ezreal damage nowhere to be found. Means that Goofy Goobers are able to take that fight very easily once the initial engage has finally pushed through.
Yeah, now with this Infernal Soul in their pockets, they've got their eyes on the Baron, and this is such a good... I love this call a whole lot. They're so far ahead in gold. They have the Infernal Soul in order to help them deal damage. This is a really, really good time to start pressuring the Baron here. As Cloud looking for the engage. That's a 3-man knock-up here. Vex might have the engage as well, looking for a little bit more here, but they've already got a whole bunch of damage on the Cloud. They've already been able to find one. Red Milk Tea pushing just a little too far, taking a whole bunch of damage, as now Sakutara has to go underneath the turret here in order to continue the chase, but it looks like they're just going to back away. Senior Ice hops over the wall, going to be able to find Lizard Wizard, but that cleanse is going to keep them alive for just a little bit longer. They're looking for more. Can they find the re-engage? They can't quite find it. These HP bars are so big thanks to Soraka. They're going to be able to peel away here, make their way back to the Baron, but I don't think that 1Life2Play is going to give up just yet.
No, and I don't think they can realistically go for the Baron with the health bars the way they are. The poke is getting strong for the Ezreal, and the Soraka is able to heal them back up as long as she is not the one taking damage. So she got a lot of really clutch Qs to keep her health bar up and continue that fight and keep the health bars full. I loved the look from Clout. Unfortunately, there's just not any follow-up, and while it didn't really matter for a while, eventually the Wukong took too much damage. Once again, no damage to follow up. It is really all the Ezreal doing damage right now, and it took way too long to get Boomer to Walrus in that fight. Might be seeing another.
Yeah, we're seeing another fight here. Lizard Wizard, once again, just a little too
He's
close
dead.
to the front line here. He goes down, not going to be able to get that revive either. So now the damage is all on Random Capitals and Red Milk Tea here, as that's already Ezreal taken out of the fight as well. It's a 1-for-2 in favor of 1Life2Play. Senior Ice now looking for the re-engage here. Zakutara looking for the ultimate as well, but that's going to be Cloud picking up the kill right there. Zakutara now has to run for their life. Wukong gets Drowsy put to sleep, but I don't think Zoe's going to be able to find any more follow-up damage here. As now the blue team takes a pretty commanding lead here, 4-2. Are they going to look for Baron?
I don't think they can do Baron. I think the Zoe is too scary right now. But on that topic, they're engaging before the Zoe can actually do anything. And I like that they're making these calls and going for it, as previously they were getting hit by the Zoe. They were taking damage before the fights. This time, they're seeing people, they're going. They're saying, we cannot sit here and constantly take the poke Zoe's throwing out. So let's engage. Let's force Zoe back. Let's force her to retreat. Let's get the Kog'Maw, if we can catch him out, take him out of the fight. The only DPS left, really, is the Zoe. The caveat of going that tank Diana build means that your damage is going to inevitably be lower than it would be if you went the full burst assassin mode.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this Zoe is the killer of indecision. The longer you wait, the longer you try to not make a rash decision, Zoe's going to capitalize. And it's just like that too. Already a whole lot of damage being thrown out. Fox has to be careful here. But
Heal
yeah,
and flash burn.
the longer you kind of stand around and not making a clear decision on what you want, the more Zoe is going to be able to capitalize on that and be able to do as much poke damage as possible as this fight around Baron continues. All right. Now both teams kind of waiting
Bounty.
to engage.
Bounty gold on the tower they could take, but they're not going to allow it. Akaipo is fairly low.
Ooh, yeah, great Vex ultimate onto the backline here, but already that's one down for the blue team. They're able to trade it 1-for-1, support for support, but Clout goes down as well. Diana's going to become Soraka as well, and now the fight is turning onto Goofy Goober's favor. Boomer to Walrus taken incredibly low here. They're looking for a little bit more. Taken incredibly low. Essence shifts over the wall. The Q can't quite land,
Oh,
and
should
now
be out.
they're on the chase. They can't quite find it, but now with them so far gone, they are immediately peeling off. Good ultimate from Ezreal here. I think I like that idea to keep them just a little bit lower HP bars to maybe scare them away for Baron, but they're going right for it.
No, I don't think it was going to take them any low. I think the Ezreal might have been better to try and save and just go for the steal. Either way, it's slim pickings. Either way, I don't think you're going to see anything crazy. But overall, a nice fight. The engage was, I guess I should throw in the clarification that yes, engaging often here is great, but you don't want to engage onto the Trundle. You don't want to engage onto the Renata when your Rex is half health. She goes in, she gets the fear, but she doesn't have the damage to kill, and they don't have the damage there to continue the fight. Ezreal, once again, just can't walk up safely.
Yeah,
Good
Kaipo
lord.
is taken down almost immediately in this fight. Cloud gets a good engage onto the backside here. Random Capitals immediately goes golden. Renata Clask has been taken down here, but Lizard Wizard is still pretty healthy in this fight here. It's a 3-for-1 so far. The only person to fall is Renata Clask, and look at that damage on the Boomer to Walrus. Zakatora is looking for a little bit more, going to pop down the realm, looking for just this. Ezreal is actually shifting away, trying to live for as long as possible. And meanwhile, on the backside here, we see Red Milk Tea diving onto Senor Walrus. Might be just a little too much. Might be bitten off just a little bit more than they can chew, but they'll take a low health Sejuani and get out of there. As now Kog'Maw starting up the Elder Drake. They're looking to end this game as Random Capitals, the turret as well. This is a massive W for the team, as now they're able to use this Baron buff to push onto inhibitor turrets here. Zakutara flashes the play, flashes Ignite. It's going to be able to find the kill, but Random Capitals is going to be the one picking up the kill in the mid lane. His Lizard Wizard still soloing here. Who needs a jungler? You just need Kog'Maw.
Yeah. This is a classic solo queue maneuver. If your jungler will not take objectives, take them yourself.
Yeah.
And we'll push forward. This is a joke for legal reasons.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. I do not want to be hearing from anyone's lawyer saying
that you lost Elder Dragon because your jungler was over trying to take the inhibitor and you're doing Dragon as the AD carry. I don't want to hear it. it was a joke. But regardless, the the ease at which Goobers can take these fights is terrifying right now because the Cogball has hit his breakpoints. He's got the Quincy's, he's got the Hurricane, he's got obviously the Mythic as well. Starting to build those tanky items to make him harder to kill, make those shields more effective, and also just keep himself alive just a little bit longer. It's so very difficult now. It comes down to picks. It comes down to the catches that we have seen happen when the team is not fully there. When you see the Cogball being the last one to leave and you get that Sejuani ult on him. That's where this fight can really work out a little bit better for 1Life2Play, but it's very small timings that they have to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really tough to find these picks as well, because even against some of the tankier members like Trundle, you're still going to end up working with basically less of an HP bar, right? They have Elder Drake, they
Yeah.
have Infernal Soul as well. They get an initial burst of damage and then have to deal with less of your HP. So this is still a really hard time that even if you do find a pick, it could end up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, one Zoe Q will kill pretty much anybody at this point, other than the Sejuani. But yeah, it's you have to give these objectives up. You have to wait for the Elder Dragon. You will die if you take a fight, obviously. But it after that, you're just looking for the picks. You're looking to try and catch back up, but it's might be a little too late because 3 inhibitors, especially with a team that does not have the really great wave clear, that could be a problem. Yeah,
Yeah, you called it. One Zoe combo, and that Vex has disappeared from the map here is now. That's going to be Clout looking for the initiation here, but remember, they're dealing with less of an HP bar. Lizard Wizard taking incredibly low here, but going to get the Renata Glass. They're going to get revived, and now they can get more. Lizard Wizard popping off 2 kills for basically nothing as Random Capitals looking for a little bit more damage, maybe just a little cheeky, just to pad the numbers a bit. 11, 1, and 13. This Zoe is unstoppable, as now the only thing left to say is, I'm a goofy goober, yeah!
it's so cheesy. It's so dumb. But yeah, I mean, hey, Goofy Goobers looked really good. Obviously, mid lane kind of hard to deal with when Zoe starts getting off like that. I think that might have been really the one chance that this composition really had to be weak. And Zoe got ahead early. That just gave time for the Kog'Maw. It gave time over to the Diana even to get some more items, catch up, and be those mid game to late game menaces that they can be. And really, just the mid lane seems to be a bit of a weak spot here for the side of 1Life2Play. And I think Vex blind pick in most cases is pretty good, but there are a couple of matchups Vex just really does not like, and they all mostly involve poke. She's a fairly short-ranged mage in comparison to a lot of others, and that means you can't take her up against these champs that are going to be able to poke her out, are going to have really strong early lane pressure, and can set up ganks really well. She will get abused by that, and you've got to be aware of those things when you are picking this champion and not knowing what you're going to be going up against.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was really well played by the Goofy Goobers here. Really, just allowing Random Capitals to pop off gave them a whole lot of advantages getting into that kind of late early game where they were just had Diana able to just roam freely throughout the enemy team's jungle.
Yep.
We saw just one point where Zoe was able to burst down enemies while sitting in that kind of little pixel brush just before chickens. And because they had that kind of scrimmage area to work with, we saw Diana take chickens, take red buff, take Krugs,
Yep.
right? And that's insane amount of pressure, insane amount of tempo that you gain from getting that kind of resources that like it's just hard to for not only the mid laner Vex, but also Clout in the jungle as well to catch up.
I mean,
But yeah.
look also too at when was it? I don't remember the exact time, but we had just after mid lane was struggling, the entire bot side jungle for 1Life2Play was warded. There was
Hmm.
nowhere they could go without being seen. That completely guts your jungler for the next minute and a half or so, and you can't make any aggressive plays because if they not only know if the jungler walks into the bot side, but if the jungler's not on the bot side, it's safe to say that he's probably top side. So you now have basically complete ideas of where the enemy jungler is. It stunts your entire composition's ability to move forward and be aggressive, and it just kind of kills everything. You lost one of the more critical parts of the map really early on, and that just guts you from then on forward.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be in picks and pans of One Life to Play versus Goofy Goobers game number 2. Will we see fixes? Will we see more of the same? Will we see One Life to Play take it back and bring us into a game 3? More of the answers to this question and more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by 1,000 Eyes, and here we are in picks and bans of game number 2 of Goofy Goobers up against 1Life2Play. Goofy Goobers now on the blue side. 1Life2Play is on the red, and here we are ready to get picks and bans underway. Talon has already been hovered and locked in as the first ban here, and we are going to see if 1Life2Play can bring this back after a pretty devastating game number 1.
Yeah, devastating is, I feel like a nice way to put it. The sad part is I feel like 1Life2Play actually, for the most part, was doing really well. It just really fell apart. The mid lane collapsing meant that there was no real option for the rest of the team to play around. When your mid is gutted, it's just you don't have either jungle entirely safe to walk through. It's different than a side lane going down where it's like, okay, our bot jungle is a little unsafe. We got to be aware of that. When mid goes, your entire just jungle becomes an open field for the enemy team to take a hold of. So it becomes very important to make sure that those towers do not go down early on. And unfortunately, Akaipo not able to do so. This time around, though, we'll see if that changes. Hopefully we don't see the Vex blind pick. I think that was part of the issue. We maybe see something a little bit safer if they're going to have to blind pick. But being on red side, they have the opportunity to go for the counter pick if they want.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of the big advantage here. If 1Life2Play feels like they need like a little bit more advantage in that mid lane, they can hold on to that mid lane pick for as long as possible. They don't need to lock in their mid laner until the very last pick here. So Goofy Goober, with that available, they're going to take back that Diana one more time and run it back. I think that's a very good pickup here. It just all depends on whether they can get the same kind of early advantages that they did before. You know, it's a question of whether Diana was the good pick or whether it was just circumstance that Diana was able to play or do well that game and be able to succeed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of it may have just been you get one thing going, Diana can capitalize on that. You can work around that very well because she goes for that tank build. She can just frontline and you win harder because you could just frontline, keep engaging, keep winning because you have that gold value, and then you go from there. But we're gonna see the Diana one more time. I think if mid lane goes a little bit differently, if you don't have that lane to play towards, Diana now has to do a little bit more herself. And that's when we see if they're really capable of making that work. So far, we're seeing a little bit of a salty run back. I don't mind it. I don't think these were the problem areas. Sejuani actually did really well into the into the Trundle, a lot better than I expected. And I like seeing this run back because I think it's recognizing, okay, we have ID'd where the problem in our composition was, so let's run most of our pieces back and just change a little bit of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is looking like already pretty good. Like I totally agree with you. Like Ezreal in the previous game was not, particularly a bad pick. It's kind of the same discussion that I was kind of positing with the Diana, right? That like these picks by themselves weren't the problem. The problem was not the draft, right? Like the problem really was how quickly Goofy Goobers were able to get large victories and advantages off of their kills in the mid lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think overall, it we'll see a little bit better of what Diana is really capable of. We see the Karma Zeri really difficult to maneuver around with Zeri and Karma being so variable and flexible to get in and out of bad situations. We see the Master Yi locked in here. So we're going to
Yeah.
get a little bit of degenerate gameplay here as
Yeah,
Cloud
we
is just
are.
going to go hard. Don't be happy about that.
I'm excited whenever someone has like hundreds of games. Oh, excuse me, hundreds of games on a champion and they just get to play it, right? Master Yi is a champion that if you know how to play against him, Master Yi doesn't do anything, right? But like there needs to be like a certain champions picked that need to be picked in order to stop Master Yi from what he's doing. Karma's not it, Zeri's not it, and Diana's not it, right? you need to have a champion that has like a very quick response sort of CC. Diana, her Sunfall doesn't really stop Master Yi. It CCs him for maybe a little bit, but even look at this here. Lissandra's being banned away. Galio is being banned away. And even Lulu is being banned away as well. These are all champions that could stop Master Yi that are now just off the table.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say you take some. I mean, the thing is, I was kind of hoping that maybe a Kaipo would take one of those champions too, though. So it is a little bit of a double-edged sword. Those are utility-focused mid laners that don't have to really win lane. They could just play back and do their job come team fights because they just have inherent power built into them. Regardless, we're gonna see what we get here. I like taking away the Lulu here from Goofy Goobers. If there's anything that makes a Master Yi unkillable, it is absolutely Lulu and Zillion. The Zoe going to be taken by 1Life2Play this time. So they're going to be running the Zoe, and we'll see what Goofy Goober want to pick into this. Remember, last time it was Vex, and then the Zoe was picked. This time they're taking it away. This is specifically being chosen to take it away from Goofy Goober so that they can't get that same advantage that they had last time.
Right, for sure. And this is really interesting to me because 1Life2Play, they had the option to go blue side one more time, but they opted for the red side here. And it's interesting to me that the lane that had the weakest time in the previous game wasn't given the counter pick here. So now the last pick here is going to be support. And that is the most interesting thing to me. Like, they could have locked in a support here and waited to the very end to lock in Zoe. Right? Like, but they chose to lock in Zoe first, which gives Goofy Goobers now a chance to maybe counterpick the Zoe. Now, the Zoe versus Ari matchup, I'm not 100% certain, but it is definitely a matchup where Ari could feel pretty comfortable being able to dodge around Zoe and stay pretty far away and not have to commit super close to the minion wave.
So I think overall it is not a matchup that Ari hard wins, but it's very hard to lose against Zoe. So I think it's a very good equalizer pick because if you get hit by it, the trouble bubble post 6, you can ult backwards, you can W to get the move speed backwards, and you're good to go. You can get out of range a lot easier than something like the Vex could. However, the big thing that Ari will have an advantage in early on is the wave push. Zoe's push is not as great. She can only hit a couple of the minions at a time. She can't hit a whole wave with her Q. Ari, on the other hand, has a lot of really good pressure to keep the wave in and force Zoe under tower, giving a little bit more presence for random capitals to go to the opposite sides of the map, go to that top lane, to that bottom lane, and see what happens. We're also seeing the set pick up into the Sejuani this time, and making sure that okay, Trundle didn't work. You know what? Let me just throw Sejuani at Master Yi and see if that does something. I think that's a good switch up as well, because it's just a little bit, I think it's a little bit simpler. You're not like kind of working around some, the thing that makes Trundle weird is you're playing around stats that are pretty invisible to the naked eye. Set, on the other hand, he's going to take a lot of damage. He's going to wind up that shield, be hard for Yi to kill, and also be able to just throw the giant freaking boar on top of this man with too many eyes and just keep him in the ground.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is now going to be very, very tough. This is just another counter pick to that kind of beefy front line again. I mean, even better, so Set can even take Rakan while he's ulting and throw him back into the enemy team. Like, that's going to be another interaction that's just going to be very favorable for Goofy Goober here. They might not have the Trundle, but I feel like Set fills a very similar role and even plays kind of similarly as well. Wants to be up in your face, auto-attacking a whole lot, could be building a lot of similar items, and going to be doing a similar job. Chasing Sejuani around the map and making sure that the second the initiation happens, if you're not CCing Set, he's going to take you, throw you back into the enemy team.
Yeah, I think the biggest question that I'm going to have for Goofy Goober is, what is their ability to stop Master Yi? There really isn't much. You have the Set grab, you have the Ari Charm into Everfrost, and you have Karma Tether, which I guess is a little bit easier to use. If he goes into Alpha, I don't think that tether breaks. I believe it just stays to him because he disappears, but he's still technically around. This Diana knockout, like there's very small things to actually crowd control the Yi and keep him off. I think the bigger thing is going to be, can we take this Ari, can we take this Set and Diana and use their mid game power spikes to make sure Yi actually never hits his late game powerhouse abilities.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is that really is it, right? Like Master Yi sometimes is that going to be that late game assurance champion that can sometimes just 1v5 if he pops off, right? And so Goofy Goober is now in an awkward position because they want to get to late game in order to make sure their Zeri pops off, right? Because that is their biggest damage dealer on their team. Ari is going to be able to help facilitate kind of like that mid game where everyone's kind of like indecisive and needs this kind of strong initiation, and Diana is going to be able to do that as well. But once we get into like maybe the 30-minute mark, 35-minute mark, it's all going to be on Zeri to be doing this high intensity damage. And it's the same on 1Life2Play, but with Master Yi, right? But the difference kind of here being is that Master Yi has a lot of tools in his kit in order to make sure that he sustains through a team fight, not through healing with Meditate, but with being able to go untargetable for a very long period of time, being able to stick to a target, and if you can't hard CC him, you cannot peel him. You can't, right? So Karma has to be on the point, on the ball with these tethers, and Zeri has to be on the ball with going over these walls and timing it precisely, right? Set
Yes.
face breaker only works if there's another target on the other side. Sure, you'll pull them away for a little bit, but that slow isn't doing anything. And then on top of that, Ari's charm, that slow doesn't work. Master Yi is running towards you very quickly. So there's a lot of CC for Goofy Goober, but it's not very good CC to stop Master Yi. So it's really, really going to come down to this early game. How they're going to be able to gain tempo, how they're going to be able to gain advantages across the map. That's what I'm going to be looking for to see if they can shut down this Master Yi before he becomes a problem.
Okay. I want to go way back to the start of your dissertation here.
Okay. I apologize. I had one of those moments.
you definitely did.
Okay.
But I disagree with the fact that they want Zeri to hit that late game power spike. I think the Zeri is insurance for a late game. Because if they had a mid game spiking AD carry and they get to late game, it's just over. You're boned. I think the Zeri Karma gives them the opportunity to play around a late game and use the rest of that team as setup. I don't think that is what they want to do. I think what they want to do is play around this mid game, get the Ari set going, have them winning some stronger lanes, and have Diana facilitate that once again and keep this Sejuani from hitting hyper tank status, this Ezreal from hitting his late game strengths, this Master Yi from hitting his late game strengths. I think that's really what we're going to be looking to see, and that's what Goofy Goober are aiming for. If you do hit that late game, okay, cool, you've got the Karma. Ari Charm into the Everfrost is pretty good as well. There's options there, but I think that strength is the level 6 to level 12, 13 point of the game for Goofy Goober. And that's where all of the pressure is going to be on Ari and Set, and a little bit of Diana as well, to make sure Goofy Goober goes into the further points of the game with a strong lead.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. I mean, the biggest thing for me is like Clout is on their champion, right? That's another factor to bring in here. We talked about it kind of briefly here, but Clout has been playing this champion a whole lot this season, and not just this season, every season before this. Season 10, season 9, their most played champion over the past 4 years. Beyond a doubt, like a event horizon in front of every other champion is Master Yi, right? If Cloud is to pop off on any champion, it's Master Yi. He's got it, right? He's been in these kinds of situations. He's probably played in a lot of games where situations have come out where he's forced to play from behind and probably have still won them, right? We have to really keep our eyes on Cloud, really keep our eyes on Master Yi, and really keep our eyes on Goofy Goober as a unit to see how they're going to deal with 1Life2Play and as they scale later and later into the game. However, we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 2 of Goofy Goober versus 1Life2Play. Clout's on the Master Yi. We got a whole bunch of amazing champions ready to pop off maybe one more time. Let's see who comes out victorious this time. Is it going to be a 2-0 or are we going to a game 3? Your questions will be answered right after this. We'll be right back.
Ew.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 12. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and here we are doing our casual start on the Rift. Got a line of scrimmage down the middle, and we are ready to go. Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind. Lizard Wizard might be in some trouble here. I'm joined by Thousand Eyes, and we might have a pincer movement for Lizard Wizard here, who's got nowhere to go. Fox looking for something over the wall here. Does not have that W because they used to get over the wall of the dragon pit. So it looks like Lizard Wizard is safe. Didn't have to use that flash just yet, but they're really, really looking for this first blood.
Yeah, important to note too. Like you can invade Zeri. You think of Zeri as a mobile champ, and it's like, oh, it's like Ezreal, where you just can just level up E and get out. Zeri can't do that. She has to start with the Q. So, like you literally physically cannot level up anything. You start with the Q leveled up. So, would have been a nice catch, and a nice little paying attention to the champion kind of moment. But unfortunately, does not happen. And it will just be a pretty standard start. I am very interested in how this E is going to work out. We're also already seeing a little bit of the wave pressure that this RA is going to have here.
Yeah, for sure. Is now we finally got our start ready to go. Is Kenny Master Lin might actually be the one in trouble here. Is that's going to be the engage from Fox here? Oh, Boomer to Walrus actually taking pretty low here. Ignite is going to be procced as well. It's going to be Boomer to Walrus taking pretty low here. Not going to get first blood just quite yet, but both of them are taking pretty low here. This is going to be a pretty bloody match. If this is how the first couple minutes of the game are happening.
Yeah, this is much more than I expected. Also, as we go to the top side, did want to mention seeing Grasp on this set, which is not one I've seen a lot of, or ever. Set generally wants to go for the Conqueror. He does stack it extremely fast and really takes advantage of it very well. But this time going for the Grasp for a little bit more tankiness, I still think the Conqueror would have been better because I talked about it a little bit during our break with you, Shinkari. Is I think this game, Goofy Goobers are all in pretty much on that mid spike or mid game spike. They have Zeri for insurance on the late game. I think they're really strong in the mid game, and that's what they should be playing towards.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, and even with that Conqueror, like you said, stacks it really quickly and kind of fulfills kind of the same thing. But I guess Zakutora was like scared after that previous game of how many times he got dove, how many times the jungler showed up, how much time the mid laner show up, that maybe he just wants a little bit more safety in the lane, which, you know, I don't blame him. There were a lot of times where they came top lane trying to fight him. And there was a lot of times where he just fell or had to spend his ultimate or had to flash, you know.
If there was a weak point on Goofy Goobers, it was Zakutora on this top side. So that definitely makes sense. I think even still, it's the Conquer may have been the way to go, but I don't want to belabor on it too much, as we do see both junglers going for those full clears. Yi a little bit slower on that, as would be expected. He takes a little bit more time to get going, but once he does, he will be terrifying. And man, Kenny Master Lin needs to be pretty careful here. Taking a lot of poke early on in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, this lane already started off pretty aggressive with Kenny Master Lin as well, so it just might feel like they're playing just a little bit too aggressive here. They might feel like they have to get as much pressure as possible, especially considering they started with that spell thieves and playing as Karma into an Ezreal lane. Maybe they feel like they're pressured in order to be very aggressive in this first
Milk Tea is showing up for this gank here. Maybe trying to bait Senores in. I'm gonna just move up, maybe just looking for the counter gank too, and the possibility of a Yi showing up. But doesn't look like much is really gonna happen unless they go full all in here. But on that bot side there, Karma's already out. Okay, they have backed, but at that point, I was gonna mention being a little bit more aggressive. I think from Rakan would have been the call there, because Rakan still has 2 health pots. Rakan could just go all in, trade really aggressively on this Karma, and then use those health pots as extra health, essentially, that Karma would not have. And I think that would be really good to force them back, get that tower, get minions under that tower, and then create a little bit more pressure there. I think they could have been more aggressive there. Use your health potions as resources in the early game. They are extra health that you are getting. If you have burned through your opponents, use them aggressively.
I think I just saw Clout use Meditate to reset his auto attack.
That is the thing. So I don't know when this happened, because I just realized this recently when I played Yi and ARAM. the meditate now is a much lower cooldown and is a mana drain ability. Now, I don't know if you were aware of this, Shinkari.
I was not aware of this.
Yeah, it now costs mana per second, but it's on a much lower cooldown. It is on a 9-second cooldown instead of the like 20 that it used to be. So it is a little bit more more useful in terms of resetting an auto like that. It also only costs 40 mana initially. So definitely can be used more as an auto attack reset there. And I think that is the Master Yi power that we would expect of Clout, which I think you said is the 9th best Master Yi in the world. Is it
ninth
world or
best
the
Master
server?
Yi in North America.
In North America. Gotcha.
Just above the person who names themselves Master Yi. Like
when you go above the person who named themselves after the champ, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I will say that they are below a person. I looked it up. Their name was very funny. Oh yeah, My Life Is Over. That was the that was the person they're below.
Yeah.
Number 2.
You're playing Yi.
Yeah, if I was number 2 Master Yi, I would feel that way too. Is Nakatara is going to be able to get a decent chunk of damage, but not going to be able to get that return on that top lane. It says Ronnie is going to be the one picking up that first blood on the top lane.
Oh my god, I wish that I could go back there because I wanted to see what the cooldown on the W was. Zakatara trying to flash away, get away from that damage, and try and buy time for that W cooldown, but the engage, the ignite, and the base damage that Senorize has was just enough there, and that's really rough for Goofy Goobers because they, like we said, mid-game power spike. If you're losing to that hyper tank in lane, that's a problem.
Yeah. It means that Zeri won't be able to build her efficient items too. I mean, if you force Zeri onto anti-tank items, her actual like efficient items, like those are not efficient items for Zeri, so she's not going to be dealing as much damage as you'd like. But if you need to cut through an HP bar, Zeri is probably going to be the best person to do it.
Yeah, we'll be able to, but at the same time, you got a Yi to contest with, and you don't have anything Yi's going to have any problems burning through. Granted, he doesn't have problems burning through anything, but he absolutely can just obliterate everybody here. We'll be seeing not the lethality, which is good.
Yeah, let's see what they're looking for here. That's going to be the face breaker here. Going to get a big haymaker.
Good
shield.
knockups.
Capitals is coming over the wall. Fox is taking incredibly low. Going to be able to find one. Senior Ice is looking for a return here. That's 2 for 2. Make that 3 for 2. Cloud is looking for a little bit more. Kenny Master Lin is going to go down there asleep. They're going to be put into a dirt nap. Triple kill for the Master Yi. 4 for 1 up in this top half of the map. And they're going to get the Rift Herald to boot. This is insane. What a start.
Yeah, so what do you think that Goofy Goobers need to do for Game 3 here? This is not at all a good start here for Goofy Goobers. That is a triple kill going to the Yi, and all of a sudden, yeah, I mean, it looked great for a while, but Fox getting that knock up and then Yi coming in. Good timing on that one and just getting the damage down. Triumph and the quick meditate to stay alive in that fight as well. Yi already has a Kraken Slayer at under 10 minutes. Yi is very quickly going to get out of control here.
Yeah, Lizard Wizard popping the ultimate here, looking for a little bit more damage, trying to survive that engage, be able to live through it. But that ultimate is down for quite a while here, so we're probably not going to see it anytime soon, but you know, there's no big objective to fight over just quite yet. So,
I mean, I think even if there was, you don't fight it because you're now up against a Yi with a freshly bought Kraken Slayer.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there is a world in which you are fighting an objective, even if you do have the cooldowns right now. I think Clout is just a little too good right now, a little too strong, and you're just going to be letting him do what he wants for a while until you can maybe normalize that by taking fights without the Yi or getting advantages in your lanes.
Yeah, now we might see another engage here. Red Milk Tea already taking a decent chunk of damage here, but the blue team just a little slow to help out with this this engage. That now we're seeing basically 1Life2Play doing the same thing that Goofy Goobers was doing in the previous game. You know, we see them getting some advantages through now the jungler and immediately going through and taking this kind of bottom half this bottom quadrant of the map away from the blue team.
Yep. And that's exactly what you would expect there. Master Lin baiting here.
Yeah, Red Milk Tea looking for a little bit more, but can't quite find the combo that they're looking for, so they're just going to back away.
Yeah, and like you said, it is the kind of exact same thing that we saw here of the Yi just running in, jungler able to just take out whatever he wants from that enemy jungle. And it's mainly just because Yi can do what he wants. He just needs a little bit of help in case he runs into a bunch of people.
As now, oh my god. Okay, yep. A Kaipo, once again, showing us how much damage Zoe can do if given the chance.
Very scary. Yeah, that definitely was that time I saw it clearly. The auto reset. Is Zakutara maybe getting a...
Oh yeah, I think they got their Q blocked here, so Senior Ice gonna be able to be taken down pretty quickly here, but that was a whole lot of ultimate spend. I think that was 2 ultimates to make sure that they were stuck
Nope, just
there.
one. Oh, no, wait, no, you're right. 2 ultimates for random capitals as well. Good charm, though.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great follow-up as well. The Moonfall is good, but forcing the flashes out here. So Akaipo backed away. Boomer DeWalrus is now here. Master Yi waiting in the wings for the blue team to go up.
He wants it. He knows that he cannot do it yet.
Real bad. Oh, yeah, okay.
On vision.
Yep, they see him right there. The dragon is now spawning. This is an Ocean Drake. See if they're looking to
remember. No, there is no set ult, no Diana ult, no Ahri ult. There is very much no chance that Goofy Goobers really want to fight this one. I think they were right to back away on this because you get a Sejuani ult, you get a Rakan ult coming in. You're not doing anything in that fight. You cannot do that one. So I think while they were able to really take good advantage of getting the kill and then the flash off of a Kaipo, you just did not have enough left in the tank to continue on forwards, and they make the smart call to back away.
Yeah, as now Lizard Wizard, oh no, use their mobility to get into the fight of Boomer to Walrus, and Cloud is able to get onto a rampage here. Gets that extension onto their ultimate. Now looking for Kenny Master Lin. There's 1, 2, 3, double kill for Cloud.
Ooh, very unfortunate timing there. They thought they had something on Boomer to Walrus, and then they go in, and at the end of the tunnel, Yi waits for no man. He goes in, gets 2 kills, and now 5-0 on this Master Yi. That is
Fox
very
just trying
scary.
to run for their life here. He's going to be able to get away. You love to see it. Ahri does become drowsy here, so Akaipo might be able to find something cheeky. Is Senior Ice coming up from the wall here? That's a great ultimate. Onto random capitals here. Might be able to turn it around. The charm is good. See if they can be able to find the damage. Dash right in. That's going to be the set. Putting him into the team. Facebreaker is going to be able to find 1. Can they find 2? Zakutara picks up another. As now Akaipo is now the next target. They're trying to peel away. Clout is waiting in the wings. Ahri is running for their life. They're now drowsy, asleep. Akaipo, are you going to find the cheeky kill? It's going to be Boomer to Walrus finding the kill off of the side here. They're still looking for something. Kenny Master Lin may be staying for just a little bit too long. At the end of the day, I believe it's just a 2 for 2, evening it up. Or 2 for 1.
I don't know. It went on too long for me to remember. But yeah, Clout, unfortunately not in that fight, and it looked like it was going pretty well for the side of 1Life2Play, but at the end of it there, you saw the set fly in, get a really good ultimate damage onto 4, and just grabbing people, stunning them, getting 2 kills out of that, and then almost taking the Zoe down as well. Goofy Goobers are not giving up without a fight, and set absolutely needed that. After the start of that game and how rough it had been going, and how much you need a mid-game power spike, Zakutara getting these 2 kills means everything for Goofy Goobers. It means that now, as they get up and have these ultimates back online, they can look for a team fight. They can look for that mid-game power spike a little bit more than they were able to earlier.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, once again, like, they're still being able to keep themselves on the scoreboard here. 1.3k gold only separates these 2 teams, but take a look at how much gold that Cloud has right now. 5-0-2. This is insane. This is such a great start. We've already said this once or twice at how good Cloud is on this champion and how good of a start this is for the Master Yi as well. But it's you need to be able to take fights without Clout there, but Clout is doing a very good job of being everywhere in quotes on the map at once.
Yeah, Boomer Walrus now gonna shift away and get caught.
Yeah, underneath the turret, that's going to be the Moonfall. Red Milk Tea is going to be able to pick up that kill in the bot lane, give Zeri an easy pathway to pick up this turret on the bot side.
And that kind of was just greed by Boomer the Walrus there. Just burning the flash and also burning the shift like very late. There, the tether hits, you immediately should be shifting away because you're giving time. You don't have move speed. Karma does. If you just let her run and catch up to you, good charm.
Ooh, yeah, great setup here. Random Capitals is going to be able to get away as well. They might be losing this tier 2 turret, but they're definitely making their move for it. Look at how much damage Zakatura is able to do, but they're not going to be able to stop this onslaught of Master Yi, who picks up a shutdown for themselves as Shelly gets a... Ooh, okay. Almost got a third charge there. They got a whole lot of value off of that Rift Herald, but they're able to answer. Oh, they didn't pick up the mid turret. Okay.
They did not, yes. So that is still a win overall for the side of 1Life2Play. They do get a really nice boon and another kill on that Master Yi. Overall, looking at it now, about 1,500 extra gold on Master Yi. You can see that in the items right now. We'll take that tower now. And right now, Goofy Goobers, they're still alive, but with how much they aren't going to be able to compare in the late game, it's scary that they are this far behind already, that they are behind at all already. The Ahri doing her job, doing solid in that mid lane. Set a little bit weaker than we would like, but doing okay. Bot lane has been winning pretty solidly. It's just been the wrong fights at the wrong time that have given Clout the opportunity to pull so far ahead.
Yeah, and now we're taking a look at this first of the Cloud Drakes being spawned here, and usually we say that, hey, like this is not usually a dragon that you really want. Like Cloud Drake's not very good, but we're looking at a Master Yi with the Cloud Drake.
Rakan.
Yeah, Rakan, like this
Sejuani,
is
like these are all champs that really abuse Cloud Drake really well. You have to be a champion that can use it really well. And these are some of the best at using Cloud Dragons active. This is a little scary here.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is going to be really, really tough to come back from, and now it's another thing that you now have to fight over, right? And now Random Capitals, they're in some trouble. That's going to be a good charm over the wall. They're going to be able to get that root as well. They're still looking for Ahri. They can't quite find it. They're still taking up the turret. They can't quite get to Random Capitals. Holy moly, that's the slipperiest fox they've ever seen. They're using teleport. Now they're out of there.
No shot. Such a good play from Random Capitals to get out of there. They're still going to lose the turret, but they're losing tier 2 on the top side for 1Life2Play. So they win out on the trade. It is a teleport down, but man, Random Capitals should have been dead to rights there. They just could not catch the Fox with the Rakan ult, and if you can't get that, there is no crowd control to keep her in place for Yi.
Yeah, man, they really tried to play catch Fluffy Tail in that bottom lane. Holy moly.
That was the New Dawn cinematic. Ahri right there.
Yeah. You're
just
right.
Chase her forever and ever and end up dying at the end of it anyway. We were all Draven in that moment.
That is so true. Oh my god. I like if there's an MVP moment of this game, like go back and clip that, because that was dope. That was really good. Yeah, that was really good. Oh my god.
Wizard just firing in play. Get a little bored.
Yeah, it's okay. They're stacking tier. Don't worry about it.
Just stacking the tier that's not in their inventory.
Yeah.
Tier that's already fully stacked.
Yes. Yeah. What? You're gonna shame them for trying to get more mana? Come on. Don't be worried about this.
Yeah. Anyway. Things are going to slow down just a little bit as we wait for another objective to spawn here. Clout, I think, just wants to try and get these skirmishes, wants to move around with this Rakan. They want to get Rakan and Sejuani to set things up. Missed ultimate.
Yeah, that's going to be a great Moonfall, though. Fox is in some trouble here, but is finally out of the fight. Cloud is actually taken pretty low here. They might be able to get something huge. Showstopper is going to be able to get the shutdown on the Master Yi finally. Kenny Master Lin is in some trouble against Boomer the Walrus here. Flashes away, but still is going to be taken down. The blue team is doing a good job of hanging in there, but they still are down 1-2.
They lose an extra kill, but they come out ahead on the gold because that Yi had a 600 gold shutdown. That is 900 total gold versus the 600 that they just lost in the fight. So they actually end up winning out on that. If that Sejuani ult had hit, that might have been a different story. Senua's unfortunately kind of whiffing on that one. Little unfortunate, but overall, yeah, shutting down that Yi was the important thing, and they will absolutely trade 2 people in order to kill him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be certainly really, really tough at this point, you know, to come back still. Like this is still like, even though Master Yi has died once, right? Even though Clout has died, they've gotten the shutdown gold. Look,
Yeah.
these teams are still very even, and Clout plays this champion very, very well, right?
Yeah.
So they need to they don't need to get even. They need to come out on top.
Absolutely. And granted, they came out on top of that. They are catching up at the gold. They're slowly moving themselves in. They're making really nice macro plays as well to catch out and get these towers down. They're catching the rest of the team with their pants down and getting that tower advantage in order to make up this gold difference that they're not getting in kills. That said, we're about to see a death stance completed on the Master Yi, and that's going to be difficult to deal with when you're looking at champions that have such strong burst windows like Set, Diana, Ari. They're mostly cooldown based as opposed to the Zeri, who is not really online just yet.
Yeah, and it's still very, very on a knife's edge, this game right now, because both these teams are arguing over this Baron area right now. They're going back and forth, trying to get positioning, trying to get some chip damage, trying to get themselves small advantages to give themselves an edge over this next fight, because whoever wins this next fight is going to go to Baron. And right now, the blue team is trying to sneak the dragon.
Yeah, Diana over there, I don't think they've realized. They have an idea. They're picking question marks.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick up the dragon here, but they've already lost one member on the top side here. They might lose Sakutara as well. Able to do a bunch of damage. It's going to be a showstopper. They found Cloud. Okay, that's huge. Red Milk Tea goes in. Going to be able to find the Moonfall on one. Fox is taken incredibly low. Going to go down here. Lizard Wizard is finding them on the backside as well. Red Milk Tea is still looking for more, but can't quite find the Ezreal. They're too slippery. Over the wall. Gets the slow. Random Capitals gets the kill. That is huge. They get the dragon. They get 2 for 3. This is a huge win for the Goofy Goobers.
I saw the cogs turning there for 1Life2Play. They realized Diana is taking the dragon. It is a 4v5. We take this fight now, but they took it too close to the enemy tower and mostly onto the beefier members that Goofy Goobers have right now. Set is pretty tanky right now, especially once he gets that W down, and Master Yi gets pulled in, gets some tower damage, gets thrown around, and with that crowd control there, that really easy to hit. Remember, it is point and click crowd control with that Set ult. If you can launch him into your team and then have the follow-up with it, you can lock him down way long enough in order to kill him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sakutara is doing exactly what they need to do at this point. They got their job down to a T. Is it a boring one? Yes. Is it going to win your team the game? Absolutely yes.
These are the things you wish you had in solo queue. A player that is willing to play boring and not be the superstar in order to win the goddamn game. Oh, it feels too real.
God. I had an ARAM game where I got random Alistar and the enemy team had a Master Yi, and I literally had to spend the whole game just standing there, not pressing a single button, either waiting for the enemy team to engage or waiting for Master Yi to jump on one of our characters to just start playing the video game. And while it was boring, I did win that game.
Yeah. Sometimes it's you are not the star of the show. You need to set it up. As a support player, I know this well, especially as an Enchanter support player. You don't get seen very often but you definitely enhance the ability of your team and create opportunities for them to win when there
Yeah,
otherwise would not exist. So
yeah,
good stuff. And it's really hard to do, I think, as a top laner too. Sakutari doing exactly what is needed.
yeah.
And now
It's
we're looking at a gold lead for the first time that I can remember this entire game for the side of Goofy Goobers.
now it is 200 gold. It is a gold lead.
Yes. Notice that I just said a gold lead.
Yeah, it is a gold lead. A gold lead is here. However, they got a whole bunch of damage onto set, and they're taking this opportunity
RTPing
to
in.
immediately start the Baron here. Watch Cloud's HP bar. Boomer to Walrus already taking a whole round here. Zakutara looking for a little bit more. He's onto the backside here. He's on top of the carries, but Boomer the Walrus is falling around the team. Akaipo is going to be the next. Moonfall is going to be able to pick up another, but Cloud is running through the enemy team. That's a great showstopper to be able to find, and they found Cloud. They're going to be able to find the next kill there. It is a 1-for-3 around the Baron pit. Random Capital still looking on the outside here, trying to find just a little bit more. It's only Fox and Senior Ice alive, but they're going to continue the Baron here. Okay, let's see if they're looking for something. Oh, no.
Baron
Okay, they
doesn't
got
even want him to have it.
yeah, Baron even doesn't want them to be there either. They're still going to look for some sort of cheeky steal, but the blue team is going to be able to secure Baron and the team fight win. And, you know, I was making fun of the gold lead before. Look at it now. 3,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, a really nice fight. And like you said, Clout jumped onto that Zeri, got her down, made her a non-factor in that fight. But you looked at the other side there, and you've got Random Capitals and Red Milk Tea just tag teaming on the rest of the team. A Kaipo went down, Boomer to Walrus went down. Fox is not tanky, cannot be a frontliner here, and Set Your Ice just not around for that, not able to peel off these diving assassins that were just roaming around the rest of that fight. So yeah, you lost the Zeri. Zeri's not the threat right now. It's the 5-1 Ari and the 5-3 Diana.
Yeah, for sure. Like, they do so much damage. And it's even a little bit harder for them to even fight them. Look at how much armor this team has on even the bruisers right here. They have stacked so much armor in order to fight this Master Yi that even the people who are dealing damage can go toe-to-toe with Master Yi. They've got nearly two armor items each, and a Randuin's on a set. Holy moly. And I think that Anathema's chains might be on Clout as well. That is correct.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's only going to do so much. Remember, a lot of Yi's damage is true damage, will not be negated by the anathemas. So important to note that, but it is still important that they are doing that. You're getting the less damage. I think reducing the attack damage is the big thing about that. Nice damage from a Kaipo. This should stall out a little bit of that engaged, a little bit of that siege.
Yeah, and that's also an ultimate spent by Red Milk Tea as well. They're able to pick up 2 inner turrets here pretty easily, but now they have to run for their lives because the red team knows where they're going. They're going to fight around this dragon pit. Like, look at Kenny Master Lin's HP bar here. It's so low.
Yeah, they've kind of burnt through everything that they had right now. They're gonna have to just take that dragon, reset. That might be the end of the Baron power play here, but that is still a significant lead. But there is always the possibility of the Master Yi popping off here. These fights have not gone great. I think the target selection has been less than stellar, but you get the right fight, like we saw in the early game, and Clout can pop off. If a Kaipo can start by getting people low before the fight and let Master Yi get those resets, then that's an opportunity. There's chances here for the side of 1Life2Play, but they are kind of falling apart here as the game moves forward.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to have to continue to keep our eyes on Clout for sure. He's still not out of the game, right? Just because he's 8-3 and not dominating 100% with 0 deaths, Clout is still very powerful and has forced Lizard Wizard and Kenny Master Lin out of fights and turned these into number advantages for his team. You know, this is still a very powerful member of their team, still a very powerful member on the map, but they're not out of the game just yet. They might be down for 4,000 gold or 3.6 at this point, but Master Yi is much like a Darius. Even though they've fallen behind at a certain point, don't count them out. You can't ignore them because they will turn that state around very quickly.
No matter what stage of the game, when you have a Master Yi with 8 kills and 200 farm, that is a Yi to be feared. There
Yes.
is no way around it. Yi kind of just hits a certain point where he is going to be a threat for the rest of the game. No matter what state the game is in, he can still make it work given the opportunity. It's just the opportunity is changing. And now we're seeing, once again, Goofy Goobers forcing 1Life2Play into rough situations from a tactical standpoint, from a macro standpoint. The pressure on that top side is forcing them back. They can't keep the push on this tier 2 tower. They have to protect their inhibitor tower here.
Yeah, now they might actually catch Fox out of position here, but it looks like he's just a little too far away. But that, I agree, that was a really, really good play by them. They were spotted out by some wards, but they might actually be in some trouble here. That's a good charm on the Senior Ice, but is looking for that Sejuani ultimate. Is going to land onto the backside here. Fox has dived right in. Clout is waiting for just a little bit longer. Red Milk Tea is actually taken pretty low here. The fight is still going. They're being chased just a little bit more. Senior Ice doing a good job of tanking up a lot of this damage. But it looks like they're finally peeling away. They've done their job. They've scared the blue team off of this topside inhibitor and forced them to reset.
Yeah, a nice turnaround there. They don't get anything out of it in terms of an actual physical positive, but it is a back away, and it is just a minute before the Baron rather spawns. This is what I want to see. This is what this team's going to succeed at. They're going to pick people off. You have a lot of pick tools, and you can catch somebody out as they try and go forward here. I think a Kaipo gave them away, and that is really unfortunate because they could have gotten, I think, a lot from that.
Yeah, the good job by the blue trinket. Shout outs to Set, going to be the one standing them off as they might find Senior Ice here. Looks like they're not going to be able to do it. SGE waiting in the wings here. Ari in the bot lane does have that teleport available. Once again, we are in a do-si-do. We are in a bit of a line here, not quite 100% engagement just yet, but they're looking to get the Baron as the prize for this fight. Fox looks for the knockup, not going to be able to find it. We still haven't seen the teleport in from Ari. She's walking up from the bot lane here, still really close. It's on a knife's edge. These two teams are ready to fight, but they're not ready to commit 100%. Here comes a Kaipo in for some damage. Doesn't land the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but is still so close.
Yeah, Ezreal's also starting to hit a nice break point here in terms of damage. The poke is really scary. They need to poke out before they engage, though. And right now they're getting a little split. Senior Ice needs to get back to the rest of the team.
Yeah, Zalkatar is going to get charmed up here. This might be the go in for Clout here. Gets the Haymaker shield, might be able to turn it around. There's the Showstopper, but he's not going to do enough damage here. Clout is still very healthy, can't be slowed. Did not land the snare right there, but they're looking for the damage on the Master Yi. Gets him slowed. There goes the HP bar. He's down. They're still looking for more. Diana's asleep, but there's no follow-up. They're going to dive right in, looking for the last bit of damage, but Red Milk Tea is still so healthy. They're going to be able to find another. It's not an ace, but it's a 4 for 2. Goofy Goobers comes out on top.
Unfortunately, their Clout just does not have the health pool to keep that fight going and stay in it. The fight's going so long, and the fight is so spread across different parts of the map. You saw over the wall there, Clout never had a chance to actually get onto those backline carries there. Boomer to Walrus is just...
Yeah, it's going to be really
yeah.
tough, but they're going to be able to find it. So that's going to be an inhibitor turret and a kill for them as well. Lizard Wizard might be able to find the inhibitor really close.
The inhibitor. Right. It's just Rakan. It's just Rakan. Rakan's not going to stop you. You're Zeri. You're fine. But yeah, Lizard Wizard has hit strong points now. Clout can't get deep enough without just tanking so much damage. Sejuani just not there for the team, and that costs them big time. Sejuani needs to be the one taking the damage so that Clout has the opportunity. They need to get Ari and Diana in that backline and then have the Yi follow up, and they're not able to do that. Right now, they're gonna get another dragon here thanks to the reset timers here, but that's still now a really rough spot to pull back from. Dragon Soul in 5 minutes will be a major breakpoint if we do get that deep into the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but once again, this game's still on a knife's edge here, right? This Baron could be the end of the game for Goofy Goobers here, right? They have an exposed inhibitor in the mid lane. They have some inhibitor turrets that they can start to grab in the bot and the top, and they've been making very, very good macro decisions so far. So this is now looking really, really close here. So now let's see how they're going to get through this, because now we're on another knife's edge here. Oh no, Boomer to Walrus has been caught out here. He might look for a little bit more. The charm doesn't land, but the damage is good. They're able to find the 80 carry. That's a really big pickup on this Baron in this when their eyes are on Baron.
Yeah, and if you can't win with 5, it's going to be really hard to win with 4. You could see now everybody just kind of pushing in that mid lane, using those super minions, and now going to the Baron, the bog standard call. Once you get an inhibitor down, pressure Baron and force a choice. Force a lose-lose situation where you have to either protect your base or defend the Baron and try and get it for yourselves.
Yeah, it looks like they're making their way down the mid lane here to try to force a fight at the Baron, but they might come in just a little too late. Zakutara takes a bit of damage from a Kaipo here. So now we're going to take just a little bit. Let's see if they can do it.
Gonna have to be a slow and steady pushback here from 1Life2Play, as they just do not have the resources to continue taking these fights. They're just not winning them. They're struggling to make them happen. And the front line and just consistent damage across the board for Goofy Goobers, that's kind of what's hurting right now. There's enough crowd control. The Showstopper is doing a lot to keep Yi from doing his job, and everybody can do damage on Goofy Goobers. There's nobody that can be left. You can't just say like, that's the tank, we can ignore them, it doesn't matter. Like, Set is going to do some damage. The Diana is beefy and will do damage. The Ahri will hurt you if she gets onto that backline. Zeri is just melting through the Sejuani at this point. Everything has to be taken account for in these fights. You can't just single one person out and say, we took out their carry, we're gonna win.
Yeah, agreed. And now I have to take a look. I have to press my button. I have to press on every single member of the enemy team right now, because there are 3 Anathema's chains built by Goofy Goobers right now. Zeri has one, Diana has one, and Set has one. I think it's all on Master Yi, but Master Yi only has 2 debuffs from Anathema's chains.
It could be entirely just they have not placed it. It's entirely possible that they have not gotten the chance. Fight starting.
Yeah, Fox is going to dive in here. Zakutara's already taken a decent chunk of damage here. I think they're waiting for Zakutara to go down, but in their time to wait for Clout to re-engage, they've already lost 1. Will they find 2? They will, and now they've got the Baron buff. They've got a wave. Will they be able to end the game with 2 members down? They're looking for Senor Ice here. They're looking for a little bit of damage, but that's a very, very tanky Sejuani. It's going to take them a very long time. Good charm. They're going to be able to find some follow-up damage here. About to half HP here. That turret goes down. It's the first one. They've got another wave coming. A super minion is here as well. Going to be able to go golden to defend themselves against the Zoe, who's hanging around the backside here. 5 members strong. Cloud, you've got to go in. There's the engage. Red Milk Tea's taken incredibly low. That's going to be the Everfrost procs. Cloud is using this as an opportunity to go in. Going to use the Alpha Strike to dodge around some of the damage, but look at Lizard Wizard. He's just clearing the base, and that's going to be it. 2-0. Goofy Goobers comes out on top.
Goofy Goobers playing that game so well after such a disastrous start there. And they do pull out the win. Really good stuff from Goofy Goobers. I really genuinely thought after that triple kill, it was just going to be over, because you have Clout being the 9th currently best Master Yi in North America. You have him on his main champ, and you're just giving him 3 kills early. That feels like something that is impossible to come back from. But Goofy Goobers played it so well. They said, okay, we have minimal hard crowd control. We cannot use it on anything but Yi. And the showstopper every time on Yi, pulling Yi into the team specifically so that Ahri could follow up, so that Diana could follow up with that Moonfall then, and just make it so incredibly tough for Cloud to actually get damage in, because he's taking so much from 5 different members of the enemy team. Really smartly played from Goofy Goobers, on top of their already great macro that they showed in this game as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and gotta hats off to Goofy Goobers as well, because they definitely pivoted and were like, okay, if Master Yi is going to be doing all their damage, let's just build Anathema's chains, because it might as well be their team logo at this point, just Anathema's chains. Because I'm taking a look at the post game lobby, and Karma built one too, and so now there's 4 people. All with Anathema's chains directly pointed at Master Yi. Like, that has got to feel bad at some point, right?
Yeah, it feels really bad too, because remember that not only is it really helping with damage mitigation, and it to a lesser degree because of how Yi's true damage affects his champion, but also it reduces tenacity. So it makes it even so that he is being crowd controlled for longer when he does get hit by that Everfrost, when he does get hit by that charm, when he does get hit by that root from the Karma that he can't really get away from, because even an Alpha Strike, it's going to follow him. That just made it so difficult for Master Yi to play the game, and really good pivoting from Goofy Goobers. How many times have you played a game in League, in solo queue, and you're like, all right, this guy's fed. How are we as a team managing to handle this? How are we playing around this as a team? And you don't see similar things. Like, this was very well communicated. They said everybody has to buy this item. Everybody needs to put it on Master Yi. And they communicated that. They made that work, and they brought the game back from the brink.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this was a really, really well played game by Goofy Goobers, and you know man, it's just so, like, I think you already hit the nail on the head. I feel like anything I say is just going to be like addition or just repeating anything that you've said, because man, Goofy Goobers, real bad position to start. And even we were like, man, well, game 3, let's see how they're going to bring this back around. Like, that was even something we said like fairly early on in the game. And man, just to see this sharp turnaround, very, very well played by Goofy Goobers. Holy moly, what a good game.
Absolutely. I also do want to give credit to 1Life2Play. They had a really good start to this game. Clout played really well. It's just the composition did not come together. Senorize was not able to frontline enough to give Clout space. Clout ended up having to dive into that backline, and when that Yi is in the backline, he is just gonna be focus fired hard.
Yeah, for sure. But that is going to do it from us here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We are going to call it for the night. Thank you all so much. From myself, the entire live broadcast crew,
We do
myself,
have one more
Thousand Eyes.
thing.
We do have one more thing. Okay.
We need to sedate. Registration for Season 12 is now closed, as playoffs are starting in 2 weeks. If teams have missed joining out on this season, they can get ready for next season, which will start on September 26th. DM Skydancer in the Style Discord for more info if you do need that. Forgot we needed to say that at some point today.
Yes. Okay. So we did end up saying it. Congrats. Applause. We did the thing. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. You'll get to know when we go live with League of Legends action nearly every single day for y'all to watch. And if you want to watch more banger games like that one, you really want to press that follow button. If you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button as well. It helps us keep the lights on here at Style Esports. But from all of us here at Style Esports, from Thousand Eyes, my co-caster, and from the Inti bot who helped us broadcast this game as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next match. Bye-bye.